Imagine the most dangerous predator you've ever seen. Now imagine it creeping toward you in complete darkness. You can't outrun it, you can't outfight it, and it can smell your fear from half a mile away. That animal is a wolf. And somehow, without a plan, without a single intentional decision, humans turned that exact animal into this. A creature that sleeps on your pillow, steals your blanket, and stares at you with those ridiculous eyes until you share your food. No animal transformation in the history of life on Earth is stranger than this one. And the most unsettling part? There are over 900 million dogs on Earth right now. They detect cancer, they guide the blind, they pull people out of avalanches, they sniff out bombs buried under roads, and also, they wear tiny Halloween costumes while their owners photograph them. But here's what nobody tells you. Dogs were never supposed to exist. No ancient human looked at a snarling wolf and thought, yes, I want that in my home. Dogs are the result of an accident that took thousands of years to complete, and understanding how it happened will completely change the way you look at the animals sleeping near you tonight. To understand this, you need to go back roughly 25,000 years. The Ice Age. Humans lived in small bands, maybe 30 people moving constantly across brutal landscapes. No agriculture, no stored food. Most hunts failed. A single bad winter could wipe out an entire group. And wolves were everywhere. Not friendly wolves, not confused wolves, apex predators that hunted in coordinated packs, communicated silently, and had been perfecting the art of killing for millions of years. These two species should never have become partners. But humans had one habit that changed everything. They were catastrophically messy eaters. Even starving hunter-gatherers left behind bones, scraps, cracked marrow, half-eaten carcasses. To a wolf, a human camp wasn't a threat. It was a buffet. Here's where it gets fascinating. Not every wolf was the same. Most wolves were aggressive. They'd approach the camp, feel threatened, and either attack or flee. Those wolves got speared. Or they stayed away entirely and got nothing. But buried inside wolf populations was a tiny minority. Wolves born slightly less reactive, slightly more curious, slightly less afraid. These wolves discovered something revolutionary. Why risk your life chasing a dangerous elk through a frozen forest when you could simply wait near the humans and eat their leftovers? The bold but calm wolves ate. The aggressive ones died young. The terrified ones starved. And slowly, across hundreds of generations, wolf populations near human camps began shifting. More calm, more curious, less aggressive. Nobody planned this. No human decided to domesticate anything. Evolution was simply doing what it always does, rewarding whatever works. Now here's the part that sounds completely made up but actually happened. In 1959, a Soviet scientist named Dmitry Belyaev wanted to understand domestication. So he ran an experiment in Siberia using silver foxes. Every single generation, he chose only the calmest foxes for breeding. That's the entire experiment. No training, no tricks, just selecting for tameness. Within 10 generations, roughly 40 years, something extraordinary happened. The foxes started behaving like dogs, wagging their tails, seeking human attention, whimpering when people left the room. But then their bodies started changing too. Floppy ears, shorter snouts, patchy fur, curled tails. Nobody told their bodies to change. It just happened. Scientists now believe that aggression and certain physical traits are biologically linked. When you breed out fear and hostility, the physical appearance softens almost automatically, which means the first proto-dogs didn't just behave differently near human camps. They probably started looking different too. Slightly smaller, softer faces, less intimidating. And that change in appearance may have been the moment humans stopped seeing wolves and started seeing something else entirely. Once humans noticed these calmer wolves hanging around camp, the relationship accelerated rapidly. Because those wolves were extraordinarily useful. They heard things humans couldn't. They smelled predators approaching from distances that made human senses look pathetic. They tracked wounded prey through terrain that confused human hunters completely. A wolf near camp was basically a living security system, a hunting assistant, and an early warning radar, all in one animal. And humans began actively encouraging them to stay closer. More scraps, more warmth near the fire. More safety for the wolves that cooperated. This is why dogs are officially the first domesticated animal in human history. Not sheep, not horses, not goats. Dogs. Before agriculture, before metal tools, before written language, before civilization. But something happened beyond just you. Something that has no real parallel anywhere else in the animal kingdom. When a human looks into a dog's eyes, both the human and the dog release oxytocin, the same hormone that bonds parents to their children. Wolves don't do this with humans. Dogs do. At some point during thousands of years of living alongside humans, dogs evolved the neurological ability to emotionally bond with a completely different species. Those famous puppy dog eyes aren't random. The slight eyebrow raise that makes dogs look sad and desperate? Fossil records suggest wolves didn't have that muscle. Dogs grew it. Evolution gave dogs a facial expression specifically designed to manipulate human emotions, and it worked so well that humans started caring for dogs the way they cared for their own children. In Germany, archaeologists uncovered a grave approximately 14,000 years old. Inside, a man, a woman, and a dog. The dog had suffered from a severe illness as a puppy, but it had survived for weeks, maybe months after becoming sick, which means Ice Age humans, people struggling daily against starvation, predators, and brutal cold, chose to spend their precious food and energy keeping a sick dog alive. Not because it was useful anymore, because they loved it. 14,000 years ago, before Egypt, before Rome, before every empire that has ever risen and collapsed on this planet, humans were already grieving their dogs. The entire story begins with scraps thrown near a fire. A few wolves, slightly less afraid than the others, creeping closer in the dark. No master plan, no grand invention, just the slow, invisible pressure of evolution rewarding patience over aggression, curiosity over fear. And across thousands of generations, that accident became something that has never happened between two species before or since. Not just cooperation, not just usefulness, a genuine emotional bond wired directly into the biology of both animals. Tonight, your dog is going to fall asleep somewhere near you, and they won't know that this friendship is 25,000 years old. But now, you do.